have either of you ever seen a little movie called Akira?
No.
Yes.
So...
That's the one about the secret agent chick who, like, wears a scantily clad, like, super short skirt and is always going around seducing FBI agents, right?
No. No.
I'm pretty sure that's Agent Akira, like...
Akira is a really old anime and manga.
Now, is it Akira or is it Akira?
Well, I mean, it depends on how much of a white person you are.
Okay. Personally, I just like to call it Akiri.
So Akira, the story of Akira. Let me know if you've heard, if this sounds familiar to what we're going through right now in society. To be a joker, real quick. Akira, the events of the movie start in the year 2020. Tokyo is hosting the Olympics. And the World Health Organization has warned them of a spreading virus so that they should delay or cancel, but they decide not to. And in so doing, a death cult sets off a nuclear bomb and destroys Tokyo. Now, where are the Olympics being held this year?
Russia, right? They won the bid.
They're being held in Tokyo.
Wait, then what did Russia get? Did they get the Winter Olympics?
Well, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I have a feeling they got a little something else.
Okay.
Now, what organization has informed Japan that they should not hold the Olympics this year? Let me stop you there. It's the World Health Organization. And what just so happens to be happening right now? That's right. The coronavirus is spreading throughout the world. A virus that supposedly was got from Canadian hands, fuck you, frog,
what?
By a death cult in China. And what is China next to? Russia. That brings it back to what you were talking about. That's right, folks. We are living in anime right now.
Well,
yeah, hell yeah.
No, Mike, I got a problem with this, okay? Because every time I bring to the docket that I want to start a conspiracy theory, it's like side podcast that we do upload like every other Wednesday to keep our viewers interested, you're always like, no, Moth, that's too much effort. I don't want to do it. We got too much. And you're over here like, oh boy, guys, conspiracy theory time. Russian death cults.
Hey, I told you at any time if you wanted to put your weird conspiracy theories all over this podcast, that's perfectly fine. The only caveat is that me and Frog get to talk about how we're comrades. That's the only...
Under no circumstance will I ever compromise this podcast for politics. Under no circumstance.
That's pretty political.
Last week we tiptoed around some conversations as not to offend anybody. Like
this podcast offend people? Well, I wouldn't imagine.
Here's the thing, like I'm okay offending people who like stuff like Kona Soup or English dubs. I'm not okay offending people who come to this podcast not wanting to hear political stuff and then we piss them off because we get political.
Well, it's a good thing then that we are the We Have Coronavirus podcast. The only podcast that's violently ill. Joining me as always is the Forkorg.
What?
What?
And the Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, have I ever actually told you about that book that John Keel wrote?
No, I just know a lot of people making fun of it.
No. So the Mothman Prophecies was a book written by John Keel, and I bought it a long time ago because I was like, oh man, Mothman, great cryptid. This guy's he has 6 books all about cryptology and whatnot. And I don't mean cryptology as in the study of breaking vertebral locks and stuff like that.
You mean cryptozoology?
Cryptidography or something. And he is the forefront self-titled expert on it. And the Mothman Prophecies is basically a 400-page self-gratification fest where he consistently talks about how great he is for understanding how tone dial phones work.
There's also the part where there is that supernatural gentleman called Ingrid something that, like, fucking, he's the only person who knows, and he told him he's an alien, and that his granddaughter can like, read minds or whatever. That fucking book is insane.
No, like, have you actually read the Mothman Prophecies, though, or are you just pulling stuff out of your butt?
No. I'm not pulling things out of my butt. I haven't read the book, but I've watched... You have no idea. I grew up as a conspiracy nut, and, like,
Well,
I was...
You are in the Deep South, so, you know.
Yes, exactly. I've been, like, around these topics for as long as I can remember. So, experiencing, like, conspiracy nuttery is, like, it's inside my fucking blood.
All right.
So, like, I've never read the Mothman Prophecies, but I know a lot about the Mothman Prophecies.
Now, I got one question for you, Mike, and I gotta tiptoe around this one because I don't want to give you an excuse to get political. But, having lived in the Deep South, how many of your family members shared that meme like 5 years ago when Obama was president and he was standing in front of a podium talking and behind him was just like a nicely decorated curtain and everybody was screaming that it was an Islamic prayer rug and that he was pretending to be Christian? Do you know what meme I'm talking about?
Not only do I know that fucking meme, you're familiar with the meme that resulted from that, right? Where people were trying to like, the joke of what's Obama's last name? You've heard that joke before, right?
Everybody knows Obama. Like, yeah, everybody knows that Obama's last name is 44.
I not family members, but actual people I was friends with on, like, Facebook way back when Obama was being elected, unironically, like, posting, just wait till I figure out what his last name is. They his last name's Hussein. It was like, oh, so crazy. Jesus Christ. I hate the South so much. It's the worst. Frog, please adopt me.
I don't know, man. The South has crawdads.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
And catfish. Deep fried catfish.
Is there a thing you can do? Can you adopt someone younger than you? I mean, older than you.
Yeah,
older than you.
As long as... no, I don't think so.
Well, no, but Mike might actually be mentally impaired enough that you can.
That is true. I am highly autistic and barely functioning.
Yeah.
Speaking of being highly autistic and barely functioning, I watched a little bit of the new Kona Soup dub. Hey! So, technically speaking, I watched a lot of the first season's dub, and I watched the first episode of season 2, which just came out. It's actually really weird. That show's from 2015, the second season, and it, like, just now got its dub for season 2. It's on Crunchyroll, and it's really good. I finally got to the succubus scene from season 1, and it's like, yeah!
That's actually when I dropped season 1.
Oh, that was episode 4.
Dude, that episode's fucking awesome. Like, I
didn't get there.
So he gets, like, a coupon to go to a succubus bar, and the succubus is like, you can make we'll give you a sexy dream, you can make it whatever you want. And he's like, can I, like, do the legal shit in my dream? And they're like, yeah, sure, it's a fucking dream. And he's like, well, I go to fucking jail. It's like, no, you fucking idiot.
It's literally a dream.
So, it's a really fucking funny episode, and it ends with him, the succubus that's gonna give him the dream gets caught, and he's, naked, about to fight them because he doesn't want to reveal to them that he wasted money on a succubus. But he doesn't want this girl to just get killed, so he's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to fight you. I love that show. That show is genuinely fucking hilarious.
I might find it funnier now more than I did before.
Dude, you should definitely go back and
because when I watched it, I was in a
fun,
like a really bad spot, so maybe I was just not feeling it.
Probably.
Yeah.
In fact, I convinced the dude on Twitter today who was completely against Konosuba, just because and he'd never watched it before. He was just like, he even said the art style was like at Sword Art Online.
What?
And it's like, what?
Well, I mean, technically,
no, not
no,
technically.
No. I would agree here. Unlikable male protagonists
That's not an art style at
unlikable-
all. That's nothing to do with art style.
Unlikable
yes, my
female
favorite art style:
protagonist.
unlikable male protagonist.
Unlikable male protagonist. Unlikable.
Yeah.
That's themes. That's nothing to do with.
Moth, like you're bringing up like the characters are unlikable as if that's a negative. That's what
No,
the show's
that
about.
Man,
It's
this
about how
hentai
unlikable they
and
are.
painting and stalking are the art style's too similar. They're horny.
Actually, speaking, I want to go on a quick tangent real quick before I go on about how bad Kona Soup is. What
did
was
this already.
one? What was that one? It was like Kanbaki and the Iron Fortress or something. It was the one where they were on
Cabaneri?
Yeah, Kabaneri.
Kind of Mary, yeah, or something.
I remember watching that with my wife, and she really enjoyed it. And I was neutral about it. I could take it or leave it. But the whole time I was watching it, it seemed super awkward to me because the art style was so close to early 2000s hentai that's all I could think about the whole time I was watching. I was like, do you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah, I recently watched that, like probably 4 or 5 months ago. I do know what you mean. The way that they
do the shadowing,
the blush. They do the blush on the skin.
Yeah.
That you see in all hentai.
No,
It's very
just the
fucking
early
weird.
2000s stuff.
No, dude. I've watched modern hentai. Regrettably, I don't like hentai. Hentai's bad porn. You guys should like have higher taste. I've watched modern hentai. It's still there, dude.
Really? Okay. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but like, okay.
Go off, King. You wanna like say for the bajillionth time and be wrong about Konosuba? You do you.
No, it's just there's parodying something and then there's glorifying something while you parody it. And Konosuba was glorifying everything it parodied.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it absolutely was.
It's just so
like, I kind of hate to go back to like the 1990s when we had the children need to learn something when watching Cartoon Act. But like, it was, hey, we have to shove a message in for kids to be like, now remember kids, doing drugs is bad. And Animaniacs parodied that, and it was clearly a parody, like, hey, we don't enjoy doing this. Konosuba, on the other hand, is just like, oh yeah, fan service, bad, or like, this. And then they go ahead and spend an entire episode glorifying it.
No, at no point does the show ever say fan service is bad. What are you talking about? You loon.
Although it's just the character.
Like, what do you mean by glorifying?
The entire succubus episode.
Yeah.
Like that entire episode glorifies harems and ecchi.
Glorifies.
It
Do
does.
you think that episode was like porn is bad or something? Like that wasn't the point of the.
Well, no, but like
it was a gag episode.
Well, no, but like everybody who tries to like get in my face about Konosuba is like, no, Konosuba's really good because even though it's ecchi, it makes fun of people who like ecchi, or it makes fun of this or this or this. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It glorifies everything you say it's parodying. It doesn't parody it at all.
No, it's not parodying it. It's making jokes at those people's expense. It's a different thing.
It is absolutely not.
Kazuma,
and yet,
Kazuma, the main character, is a fucking idiot. He's a fucking asshole.
No, he is not. He is everything.
Oh, yeah, he's not
incel
an idiot,
simps
he's not
want
an
to
idiot.
be. No, he is everything an incel simp wants to be.
What?
Oh,
What?
I'm too cool to be with these girls. Oh, I'm surrounded by useless.
That's not what
girls and I have
incels
to
are at
carry them.
all.
What?
But
That's
it's
like
these,
wrong on so many
No, it's
levels.
these incels who want to be the cool Sasuke character. That's who this is appealing to.
That's not what an incel is.
And that's not what Kazuma is either.
Incel is
Kazuma is shown as being like a fucking loser.
Yeah,
Season
yet
2's
he's drowning in puss.
He's not.
No, he's not.
He is.
No,
He could smash literally anybody on the female cast at any point.
The only one he could smash would be Darkness, and that's because they kind of have a thing.
Literally any of them.
Aqua is nothing but a drain on their financial resources, and everyone fucking hates her. Megumin is a child that is fucking useless.
Oh yeah, and she's always dry humping her staff. Yeah.
That happens in one episode.
That happens all the damn time.
I just watched this, you fool! You ignoramus! You fucking baby!
No,
I don't know what this show is, to be honest. I didn't watch very much, guys.
Kazuma is absolutely everything a sad boy incel who kind of grew out of his Sasuke phase, but
He's not an
really
incel.
wants to be.
Incels aren't
He's
like that. That's not what incels are.
Oh my.
It's like, no, it's who
People
they
are-
project themselves as. They're like, I'm so cool. The reason I can't get puss is because I'm actually
What?
misunderstood. or I'm
Incels
better
are
than
the
these
opposite
people."
of that. Incels hate
That's not
themselves.
what
Look, dude, I'm on like 4 incel
God.
discords for the lulz. And like, they reach the point where they enter like the black pill, where they're like,
Yeah,
no,
they hate
actually, I'm
themselves.
too good for all this.
That's not
It's
what the
just
black pill
world
is.
degenerate
That is
and bad.
not what the black pill is.
is.
Uh,
Oh my god.
No, they act-
Please.
no.
I want to move on.
black pill is
from
way more
Moth-
depressing, and I don't want to talk about it.
Moth misunderstands the human experience. Next, let's talk about Dororo, please.
I
Oh
like
yeah, an
Dororo.
anime that we finished, 2 years ago?
I
and
didn't
now Frog
finish.
wants to talk about?
Yes, we've been doing this podcast for 15 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just wanted to bring it up. I
Okay,
started
go
watching. Okay.
Go ahead, please.
So I started watching Dororo. How do you pronounce it? Dororo?
Bobo.
Dororo.
Bobo. Bobo.
Dobo. Yeah.
Adobo sauce.
So I started watching that way too late. I'm sorry, guys. Because we started this podcast after that season has started, I think.
No,
So-
the podcast literally started, and then Dororo came out like 3 episodes later.
No, I'm pretty sure.
No.
No, we started with the fall. No, the spring season, right? Of last year.
I'm gonna
Don't remember.
I'm pretty sure we started the spring season because our first thing we talked about, our first big thing was Sara's Mai.
Dororo was like 3 seasons ago.
Oh, it was winter 2019. So
No, we're talking about Toy Story.
what? No, that was episode 4.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't watch it because I just hadn't really been interested in it. But my friend brought it up, and we started watching it together, and it's very good. I'm about a little over halfway through right now. We're about episode 14. I think we just finished.
So
it felt
if
like
you're on episode 4.
there was. Is there going to be like a second arc to this or something, or is it just kind of
No, it runs its course.
Okay? Because like the first 12 episodes felt like its own self-contained thing, and then it might come back, loop to it later to like finish it. But for the meantime, we're just kind of dilly-dally with other stuff. I can't tell.
Dude, wait till you get to the
Episode-
spider episode. It's so
That was like one of the first ones.
good. No, it was not.
That's like episode, I think,
17,
8 or so.
19?
Oh, is there another one? Okay.
Yeah, there's another one with an actual spider waifu. Like, oh, so
Well,
good.
yeah, that was like one of the first ones.
No. Like, there's another spider waifu
Oh,
episode.
okay. I guess there's more than one.
He's just, at this point, Moth, in his delusions, are inventing characters. Because he doesn't want to admit that he might have the episode order.
No,
out
I'm pretty
of-
sure
out of
that
his whack in his head.
episode like 6 was the Spider Girl. Because like is it the one where she is planning to like eat this dude and moves in with him for a bit, but then she ends up liking him and then they run away.
Yeah, but that was like the end of season
No,
2.
that was definitely not because
No,
there's not.
that-
First
no,
of
that
all,
was
there's
not.
not a second season. Second.
Well, any time a show runs more than 12 or 13 episodes, I just in my mind go, okay, we're in season 2.
fair enough. But no, because I haven't finished the show, and that was episode like 4 or 5.
No way, because
It-
that's
it-
when he started going through his like conflict arc of like maybe not all demons are bad.
No, that was also episode 5, and he didn't ever say that.
I mean, at that point, he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything because he doesn't have a voice.
What is going on?
I don't.
So have you gotten to the really great 2-parter with the lady at the temple?
Which lady at the temple? Do you mean Mio?
The girl he falls
Yeah.
in love with.
That was back in the first arc still. Basically, everything in the first half I've seen. So yes, that was good. I also saw him go
That's-
crazy, ragey mode.
That episode's so fucking
Very
the
good.
one with
My
the
favorite
antlion
one.
that takes his legs?
One of his leg. Yeah.
Yeah, the antlion takes his leg
yep.
and he has to go get it back.
I'm gonna take
With
it
my
back.
leg. No,
You stole
such
my
a good
wife,
fucking
stole
show.
my job, stole my virginity, and I'm gonna take it all back.
I'm telling you, those antlions, they're coming from the south to take our jobs. They're the crooks. They're
hey.
You can make impressions. Anyway. So, my favorite episode, I think, was either... Well, there's a bunch of really good ones. That one's really good. The one with, like, Mio. The one with, where he meets his brother for the first time is really cool.
that is.
And I like
yeah.
the one where you see Dororo's parents for the first time, too.
Okay.
Have you gotten to the wall yet?
Yes, that's the end of the first arc.
That
so.
was episode 12. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
I
no.
thought that's where it ended.
So the last one I
That-
saw, the last one I've watched just today actually was what was it? It wasn't super memorable. This one. There's a bunch of episodic ones in the middle here that weren't super great, but I actually can't remember what it was. It was a demon they fought. Oh no,
Really?
sorry. I remember now. It was I don't remember because it was kind of like half an episode because like they set up this guy with like weird bug eyes and there was like a weird grub and moth monster. And then
man, that was a great monster. I loved her.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a half episode, so I'll see what the conclusion is. Maybe the conclusion will be a lot cooler. But the first one was kind of just like, eh. But yeah.
I do like that 2-part episode.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
sure
the
it'll be
one
good.
where they were like, "There's a demon in the town. Kill that guy standing outside the town." And he's like, "Nah, miss me."
Have you gotten to the where they changed the opening? Cause it's
Yep, second opening. Okay, here's the thing. The second opening, the song, it's whatever. I like the visuals though. I think they're fun. I think there's some fun visual stuff in there. It's not all good, but the action parts are cool. And I like the visual thing in the beginning where he's getting eaten by like bugs, and it's because it's a literal like symbolism
that's
of him
cool,
getting eaten
but
alive by
also,
demons because they're eating his body parts.
Is the party over?
Yes, dude.
Actually, no. That's the second OP, right? The party is
No,
over.
that's the first one.
You're insane, Mom. You're insane.
Look, at some point, everything just kind of blends together in my mind.
No, the first opening was that actually because like the first I watched this with my friend Enzo and Mike knows him, but for the first little while we every time we started an episode I would say let's get this party started, and then until the opening happened I was like, oh fuck.
Dude,
the party would end.
Listened to that song outside of the opening. I have some of the Japanese words memorized. I love that fucking song.
It's a great song. I also like how in that opening they show like the original art style Dororo in there, like in the little mid sections, because the old manga looks like Astro Boy.
Oh yeah, it's so
It's
weird.
old
I
as
own
hell.
the manga. I love the manga. The manga's awful. It's also great. I love it.
Yeah, but but there's little sections in the first opening where they show Dororo in like that older style, which is kind of a neat little nod. So I thought that was neat.
Hey, speaking of manga and comics, Moth.
Not yet. We're not gonna jump, we're not gonna make that jump yet. There's actually something I want to talk about because it's gonna be weird for you guys to hear me praise this anime.
What's the anime?
So I've been watching an anime with my wife. We're 8 episodes in now of probably a 13 episode series, and it is everything I hate in an anime, and I cannot quit this anime. I cannot.
I can't think of what this is.
It's Bofuri.
I don't know that one.
I don't know what that is either.
It's I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense.
That's still going on?
Oh, yeah, we've already talked about it.
No, it's just, like, the more I watch this anime, the more it makes me just want to go download Ragnarok Online again.
Because it sounds like you got a nostalgia boner more than anything.
No, it is the most nostalgic anime for Ragnarok Online ever. Like, the secret dungeons, the cheesing boss fights, the stupid stat builds, like, everything screams Ragnarok Online with me. And, honestly, she is how you do a Moe character. Like, she absolutely is. Like, I always complain about Moe characters because I feel like it's very fetishy and fan servicey at the end of the day. But, like, she is actually just dumb, but dumb in a good way. Like, all of her friends support her. She gets along with everybody. Like, it's
Frog.
I doubt it's fetishy.
I think he understands what a cute character is.
But, I mean, he likes what's it called?
But you can see her evolve in the game. Like, she starts making smart decisions, and you see her, like, act in smart ways that are like, oh, she's understanding the game finally, while still cheesing it. Like, she actually learns, she develops, she gets better. But yet, at the end of the game, she's still doing stupid, cheesy things to break the game because that's fun.
I want a Dark Souls anime that's like that, except Dark Souls, because I like Dark Souls, and I don't like MMOs, because MMOs suck. But Dark Souls is good.
A Dark Souls anime would be really cool, because I'd get to see a lady with big old milkers.
I hate that.
That was in one Dark Souls, and that was actually a mistake. Like, the guy did not want to include it, but the designer was so, like, he's like, I'm so proud of this. And he's like, okay.
Citation needed.
Big milky.
Big
milky. Big imaginary milky.
The chick in the portrait, like the hologram or whatever. Yeah.
The hologram in Dark Souls.
She is an illusion, though.
No, he's talking about the dragon lady.
No,
yeah,
with the
Guinevere.
toes.
No,
in Dark Souls 1.
she originally wasn't supposed to be in the game, or if she was, her design wasn't supposed to look like that.
But boom,
so Moth has once again combined things together.
No, I have not.
Yes, you have. You just talked about the portrait world. That's not where Guinevere is.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. To me, the first 2 Dark Souls games are in the same thing to me. Like, they're the exact same game.
Moth, are you thinking of the dragon lady that shows her toes?
No, I'm not thinking about toes because unlike you guys, I actually have good fetishes.
Are you referring to
feet.
Guinevere, or are you referring to...
I'm talking about big titty chick who sits on a lounge chair.
Guinevere.
Yeah, Guinevere.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because you went off, like, combining shit again, and that's, like, the 3rd time this episode.
No, I don't know if you do mind anything there. I don't know.
Now there's...
So, I've seen, like, the first 3 episodes or so by Fury. I just called it...
Bofuri?
The Shield Girl anime is what
By
I've been calling
Fury
it.
is fun.
Yes, good shield hero. Good shield hero. Gotcha.
I watched it for the seasonal episode that never was, and it's actually, like, really fun and really, like, not bad. Like,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of, like, seasonal shows, and as terms of, like, a seasonal show, it is 100% watchable and fun.
Yeah, it's a comfy anime. It's what I consider an acceptable comfy anime. Like, much better than Girls Last Tour, much better than we're in this club room doing stupid shit, much better than, hey, I'm a girl who wants to travel the world with my friends. Like, way better than all that. I don't know what the third one is.
But there should be an anime where they show off Dark Souls rolling, and people who spam it are cowards. And then
I think that exists, but I don't know what it's called.
It came out before Dark Souls, but it was about a club room full with nerds.
It was Sword Art Online Season 2.
Actually, that sounds more like one of the dot hacks. But
while
we're going on tangents, can we talk about Hanako-san?
What's that? Oh, toilet?
That's fucking toilet show.
I didn't watch that.
Dude, that show is so weird to me. It is the most bizarre anime I've seen in a long time. And
Doesn't it do this
Doro
weird...
Hetero's going on this season.
Doesn't it do this thing where it kind of structures it almost like manga panels?
Yeah, it does. It does a lot of that. But it's, you can definitely tell that it was written by a woman, and in a good way. But, like, there was a scene I was watching the other day where they're at the library, and one of the characters gets an upskirt of the main girl, and a lot of the times they'll make the conscious decision to show you what the character's seeing at this point, and you'll see her upskirt. Well, it didn't. It just showed him look up and then, like, look away and almost fall off a ladder. And so I like that.
Moth, how you have
That's visual storytelling right there.
That's not what that word means. You need to stop. You need to
It's
you.
visual storytelling, Mike.
You're the demon. You are the fucking paralysis demon that sits on my chest at night and tells me about how fucking Kill la Kill's bad. I hate you.
Kill la Kill is awful.
Haunt my fucking dreams and waking
Kill
your
la Kill
nightmare.
could have been
You're
so good if it didn't
given
sell
flesh.
itself to be a fan service anime.
What?
Let's not do it, okay?
I don't even like Kill la Kill that much, but come on, dude.
No, it absolutely was a fan service anime.
So
It's literally part of the whole like joke, though. It's whatever.
No, but that's glorifying the
irrational,
thing.
No.
You know how Moth has an irrational hatred for Kill la Kill and would love it if it was gender swapped? That's exactly how I feel about Hanako. Because I fucking don't like the show. I thought it was boring. But if you gender swap those fucking characters, I think it'd be cute as shit.
You know what? I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, I enjoy Hanako being a dude and being such a piece of garbage. Because this is a female writer, and she's
Apparently
kind
it's
of really
two
hitting,
authors, and I don't know what their genders are.
she's hitting teenage angst really well. Like, she really is hitting, like, teenage angst. And the thing is, the main girl is stupid, but she's stupid in, like, the Barbie Xbox, like, horse riding game sort of way, where it's a girl who's living with princess fantasies and is being stupid about it even into her high school years. So I like it. And honestly, yeah, I agree with you, Mike. Hanako-san could be good if the genders were swapped. But that's because you have a craving for bully girlfriends.
Oh, you're so right. I like mommy GFs, I like bullies. Oh, man, just kill me, please.
I think they're going to be anonymous. It's two people who are authors. I don't know if they've revealed themselves.
Hey, speaking of authors not getting proper credit because you don't know enough about them, Moth, why don't you actually now talk about comic dub YouTube channels?
This is the one I've been avoiding for 15 minutes now while I try to figure out where my mind is. All right,
Yeah,
so
we've been trying to figure out where your mind is for this entire recording.
So we, remember when there was that time where we had stuff like, the Spider-Man Elsa house where like some dude was wearing like a Wish costume and some chick was wearing an Elsa costume, and it basically just came down to like weird dry humping, and those YouTube channels were raking in thousands of dollars of profit because they just clickbaited the hell out of kids. Because honestly, who doesn't want to see Spider-Man impregnate Elsa? And kids don't know what this means, so they'll just watch it and they'll get a weird tingly kid boner, and I don't like talking about this, but that's what happened. Those are the YouTube channels. Those are the YouTube channels that were getting popular, and they're raking in like lucrative cash IP stealing. And nobody knew about it until I think it was like H3 blew the lid off, and then Critical jumped on it, and PewDiePie jumped on it. I think once PewDiePie jumped on it, YouTube went, oh, wait a minute. Our white supremacist YouTuber who's leading the movement, and I don't feel this way, that's just what YouTube said. Our white supremacist YouTuber who's leading the movement says something's bad. We need to jump on this. And then that all got shut down. Well, there's another thing that's milking YouTube profits, and what it is we have fan comics. So I've seen this happen to boxer hockey, which I don't know if you guys know what boxer hockey is, but it was what Tyson Hesse did before he took over the Sonic team. Like, do you know who I'm talking about?
Not a clue.
Yeah, I mean, I know who Tyson Hesse is.
Oh, Tyson,
but I don't know
yeah.
what boxer hockey is.
Yeah. So before he did Sonic and like the Sonic Mania stuff, he actually did a comic called Boxer Hockey, which was really good. So it doesn't matter if it's stuff that's original content, because Boxer Hockey was original content. It doesn't matter if it was VG Cats, because VG Cats is pseudo regular content, even though he hasn't updated in 2 years.
Wait, Tyson Hesse did VG Cats?
No. I'm saying like these are the type of content creators that this is stealing from.
Okay.
And then the third batch, which has the least amount of ground to stand on, unfortunately, is the fan comic creators. So to go over, people like Flork of Cows, people like Boxer Hockey, Tyson Hesse, VG Cats, they create content, and then people will take their content and they'll cut up the comics into slices, and they'll voice over it for YouTube. So I'm trying to find like a good example of this, like. And they'll do stupid voices to it. So you have like a Flork of Cows comic.
I really like the most like well-known version of it would be the Sapphire dub of the Himdaw's Persona comics.
Yeah, and those were good. Those were really good, and there were a lot of really good artistic liberties taken there. And in fact, I think it exemplified the work in a lot of ways, because there was a lot of sound editing put in. There was a lot of work put in. A lot of these channels just word for word dub something, upload it onto their channel, and get a ton of those kid views. And so the third group is the fan comics. So people are like, hey guys, I made my own comic about Pokemon and these Pokemon characters interacting, and this guy ends up with a bunch of, what is the ultimate waifu Pokemon?
It depends on who you ask, man. Like,
come on.
Some people want to fuck Chandelure.
No, who's the ultimate waifu?
Gardevoir?
Yeah, like comic where like a dude ends up in a
Baniri?
house filled with Gardevoirs and like cucks the father
Baniri,
and then
though.
sleeps with the father, like, you know, and they have these fan comics they do that are technically IP infringement, but they're making so little money on it that the legal teams don't want to go after them. Well, these people then take the comics, cut them up, put them on YouTube, voice them, and do like the bare minimum effort for it to be quote unquote transformative content, and they upload it into YouTube, and they get hundreds of thousands of views over weeks. And you don't think 100,000 views is a lot, but depending on how your content is classified, somebody told me something that like 1,000 views can net you $15, and that's stuff like Ryan's World, where it's truly meant for children, and it can market to everyone.
I do not think that's a proper metric. 1,000 views, $15? No way. There's no way.
Even if it's not like monetary, it's still like getting seen by people, which is spreading them around. So even if it's not that much, it's still doing.
Well, no, and I do recall, because I worked for a friend I had a friend when I was doing game journalism where her whole job was to reach out to influencers at the time. It was like, JonTron was actually the big influencer at the time. She would reach out to them, and they asked him one day, they're like, so if you're not doing sponsored content, how much do you make per view? And he was something like, along the lines of like 1,000 views got him like $3.
I think that seems like a lot.
Yeah, and you'd think that, but like depending on where your content sits on the monetary policy, like if it gets rated for all ages, apparently it can be like $10 for 1,000 views, and that's stuff like the truly sponsored content, like Ryan's World.
Man, once we reach the level where I can monetize the podcast on YouTube,
oh, by the
know
way,
what the actual rates are, I'm gonna blow your fucking ass out.
No. Once we actually know these numbers, like I will go, okay, I was going off a hearsay and whatnot. By the way, if Raid
What
Shadow
are you talking?
Legends...
This podcast, we have examples of you just doubling down on not knowing what episode of show was in Doro.
Well, yeah, but this is something where, like, my opinion can cause a lot of problems. So I'm going to say, like, this is what I've heard.
Your opinion causes me problems.
I don't care, Mike. You're a basket case.
That's fair.
But
it means
isn't that Green Day song?
I hate you. Fuck. No, damn it! Now I hate the Zoomer. I hate you both.
But basically, so let's say this comic gets 100,000 views, and they literally bust out one a day. And this has happened to my wife, because my wife is actually a relatively popular Undertale comic maker.
Wow.
She sometimes does like fan comics for Undertale, and her comics on her Twitter will get like, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 likes on Tumblr, and then like a couple thousand on Twitter. But then these videos get uploaded to this YouTube channel, and they get hundreds of thousands of views. And like they link my wife to them. They're like, yeah, we got this content from my wife. I won't blast her name on this channel. We got this content from blah blah blah, and we're uploading it. I guarantee you, they're making significantly more money than my wife is. And so it's just so infuriating, because it's like, well, what can she do? Because technically Undertale is owned by Toby Fox. So it's not like she can be like, hey, this is my IP. What the hell? Like, you're stealing my content, because technically she's making fan content from somebody else's original idea. And so they get to sit in this moral gray area where they basically steal content from another creator. And it's like, at what point are you no longer glorifying somebody else's work? And at what point are you stealing their work to make money?
I don't think there's as much of a gray area as you would assume. Like, if I draw Pikachu, and it's not a trace, it's my own art, like shitty art style, because I'm not a artist. It's my drawing of Pikachu. It's not what that is not what Pikachu looks like. It's my own art style. So I would own that picture of Pikachu. And if I wanted to upload it officially somewhere and make money off of it, I could call him Pokacham. And it would be fine. Same like with your wife. I've seen her. I mean, we've all seen her art style. It's the podcast image.
Yeah. Well, that was also, she's so mad at that one. Because she's like, well, got to realize, like, when we asked her to do that, the podcast image, like, that was a job for a graphic designer or an actual logo maker, which my wife is not. She does not work with vectors when she draws her pictures. So she was like, I'm doing this because I love you, leave me the hell alone. So like, that is by far not her best work, but it's like, this is also not work that she's suited for.
Right. But like, I could not sue her if she posted it herself and say, that's my face. Like, I couldn't do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I totally think, like, I know that someone could say it's fair use because they're dubbing over the comic, and to an extent it would be, but that's where the gray area holds. I don't think it has anything to do with who owns the rights to the art, because obviously the artist owns it. It's more about did they do the fair use, like, bare minimum? Because there's a bare minimum you need to do for fair use for it to qualify in America.
And sure.
And it's a very, very blurry line.
Yeah, it is very much a blurred line. I know you. Anyway,
stop it. That song is banned.
How is that song banned?
It's cringe.
It's about rape.
It's also just cringe.
It sounds like me, like you're just trying to put a liberal spin on things here, Mike. Like, let's not jump to conclusions, okay?
What impression is this?
What voice? What is this?
Who is that even? I don't even.
Is that your bin Sharpie man?
I don't know. I was just trying to be like a generic, like,
that's the worst pencil I've ever heard
on the spectrum. Like, it sounds more like liberal propaganda. No, that's more like Nixon. I give up.
That's just supposed to be like Alex Jones, like
Rush Limbaugh.
No, if I was Alex Jones, there'd be more like table slamming going on. Like, and if I was trying to do Glenn Beck, like, I'd be sobbing into the microphone right now.
I love Glimbeck so much. He's a precious little bean.
I actually, I don't want to get into politics, but let's just say I like anybody the moment they leave Fox News.
Fair. Although I guess some people leave Fox News for bad reasons.
Oh yeah. We're done with that though. But going back to my wife's comics and just comics like this, there are a lot of people who it's just my wife is like, great, these guys have hundreds of thousands of views, and let's look on the low end of the spectrum. Let's say they make $3 per 1,000 views, because apparently
I feel like that's still the high end, but
no, that's very much the low end from what I've heard.
For 1,000,
I've heard as little as 15 cents for every 100.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I heard that too, but that also depends on how many subscribers you have. I heard there's different subscribers ranks, different things. All right, let's just do this. Let's say they're getting $1.50 per 1,000 views.
Sure. For sake of example, just go for it.
Hey, you know what? That's too much math for me. So let's say $2. Can we say $2?
That's fine. Go for it.
Okay.
If you want to go easy, just make it $100.
200 is a little too much. $2 is a little too much.
I think we
All right, let's do $1.85.
Wait, that's again math. You don't like
That's harder math.
All right, but let's say $2 for 1,000 views. So
yeah, okay.
At 10,000 views, they make $20.
I think so,
At
yeah.
200,000 views, they make $200.
Right.
Some of the and also bear in mind that if a video is 10 minutes long or if a video is 20 minutes long, that 1,000 views can equal more money because how many ad reels can you drop?
Yeah, it depends on how many ads you actually put in the video.
And watch time.
Yeah, so let's say they do the bare minimum, which is 4 minutes, which is not unheard of, or 2, 3, 4 minutes. But they borrow from this huge net of content creators so they can open up a comic every day. Let's say their video gets 100,000 views. A lot of their popular stuff gets up to 600,000 views. A lot of their less popular stuff, maybe 80,000 views. So, but let's say every video they're ever going to make is going to get 100,000 views. That is $200 a day, in my opinion, stealing somebody else's work.
I don't know. This is a weird topic because you're adding onto it, right? Mm-hmm. You're adding substance to it, but I do think it's kind of weird to be profiting off something someone else made in a sense. But it also,
I think in the bare minimum that these people have a responsibility to credit the original work.
Well, yeah, and they do that so that they can do the bare minimum. But my wife was she was actually looking at it. She's like, because she has a shop that she sells stuff on. And she was like, one day they uploaded a video and I saw that it had 50,000 views after a few hours. I had a couple extra likes on my comics, but my store didn't budge at all. A lot of people don't check the video description. And she wasn't saying people aren't buying my merch, I'm angry. It was more the traction I'm getting from somebody taking my content and changing it. Is not significant in my opinion for what they're doing. Because let's say they're making $200 on these videos, every video they upload. And I mean, this is stuff where you literally cut a comic up and add sounds to it and scroll the camera. I can't imagine it's that hard to do.
Fuck, I did it not that long ago with a tweet on Twitter.
Yeah, how long did that take you?
That took me probably an hour and a half's work.
Okay, so let's say they work a full 8-hour shift doing that. Mike, if I told you could get $200 a day working 8 hours a day, would you take that right now?
Sounds like shit.
I'd suck your dick right now.
Wait, hang on. Yeah, no. I thought about that. Never mind. That's a lot better.
Yeah, that's $25 an hour.
Yeah, no. I didn't count it right. Never mind.
And you think about some of these channels, they get the residual views. So after the 100,000 views are over the course of 2 years, let's say they probably then have another 300,000 views at the end of it by the time that video stops raking in cash. So these guys have an initial income and a ton of residual income. I guarantee you some of these guys are making more money than my wife is off of her content. And I'm not trying to make my wife the center of the focus. It's just that is my ground zero is I have somebody who this stuff is quote unquote being stolen from.
I say the solution is to do away with monetary value and appreciate all iterations of a given work.
I just think every single person.
But that's not the world we live in, right? So
there should be a fan comics union. We should start a fan comics artist union.
That's
better yet, we could start a fan comics artist co-op.
Actually, a lot of these people survive by staying under the content they're stealing from's radar. Because, I guarantee you, the moment you get popular and you do a Disney comic, you're dead.
Well, I don't know about that.
The mouse will come to your house and shoot your kneecaps out.
One of my favorite, like, I watch a channel that does something similar to this called The Comic Storian every now and again, but they do it with Marvel and DC comics. They're not, that's a big channel. They're not flying under anyone's radar.
How are they not getting shut down? Because that's Marvel. That's owned by Disney. Like,
It's
the
Marvel,
mouse should
baby.
they should
It's
be
Marvel.
breaking in their kneecaps.
I couldn't tell you.
Unless they don't monetize those videos. Like,
They monetize the shit out of those fucking videos. Trust
Fair
me.
use.
they must have a content split deal or something.
Here's the thing. I think ideally, I think it's great to like make variations and modifications to art, and we can like appreciate it in different ways. I think that's all really great and fun. But I do understand that it can be frustrating for people who like feel like they've been not robbed, I guess is the wrong term, but feel like they've been almost cheated out of like fame that could have been theirs. I guess is kind of the idea here. But it's like. I don't know. It's kind of a weird stance to take, I guess, because I don't know where I stand here.
This is the gray area because these people, they are adding to the original.
Yeah, because I understand people who would want to like see it in different variations, and I also understand people who would want to kind of be compensated for the original work they did in the first place. This is why. I don't know. This is the system we live in, I guess, right? It kind of fucks people over inherently, but
we live in a society.
We do live in a society.
There is another content creator I know that I met through my wife who gets approached by these channels. Occasionally, these channels are nice enough to approach the content creators and say, hey, can I fan dub your comic? And that person goes to them and goes, okay, let's see. They have less than 100,000 subscribers. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. Go right ahead. But then they go to these bigger channels like the ones that, you know, have taken pretty much every single one of my wife's comics. And I'm like, you have how many hundreds of thousands of subscribers? And they come back to them, they're like, well, you could dub my comics, but what's the split going to be? Is it going to be 40-60 in your favor? Like, what is it? And they will never get an email back. They will never get a response. Like, the moment they ask to be recompensed for it, they just disappear.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
that to
fair
me
to
tells
ask,
me
I
how.
guess.
Well, no, those to me tell me how sketchy those people are. Because, like, the moment they have to be even a slightly bit responsible for, like, what they're taking, they disappear. I
mean, they probably just don't want to pay.
Yeah, well, that to me is sketchy. It's like, you're already stealing their content. The least you could do is, like... I'm not for it.
I don't know. I don't know much about this, to be honest. And I think it's a problem with the system and rather than the people, but I don't know. Yeah, because money is too valuable.
Now, like, people... I could go and I can, like, redub Sonic Boom, and I can just, like, do the famous Shadow Sonic scene where it's like, you're surprisingly fast for a cheetah. What? And Sonic's like, I thought cheetahs are supposed to be fast. And Shadow's like, maybe for you. Alright, that'll be $200, guys.
Have you seen that Sonic fan dub of, like, Sonic 06?
Yeah!
I love that thing.
Wait, was it 06? I thought
there was an 06, there was a Sonic Adventure 2, they did a bunch of them. It was a good one. Anyway.
I'm gonna piss all over you. It's so fucking
pissed on
Shadow the Hedgehog pissed on my wife.
That was... Yeah, so, yeah, that one.
Yeah, but like, they added sound effects, they added, like, laser noises, like, some of these comics, I'm not kidding you, when it's like, well, you gotta be a dick like that. Pause, and then, like, maybe you'll hear, like, the sound of footsteps to imply the character's moving, and then it'll be like, well, hey, guys, how you doing today? It's just literally voiceovers.
Yeah,
it's
it was
like,
funny.
okay, sure. And if somebody's learning to be a voice actor, and they're using this as inspiration, I'm okay with it. But the moment I see an ad reel, I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't know, man.
I think people should be able to make money off the work they do. And that includes the artists and the people doing the voices. If only we could devise a system in which both people could be fairly compensated for their work. Anyway, let's talk about Korean films and a special little trilogy I watched.
Okay, Korean films, go.
Go.
So... Go.
Pick up the pace, Mike. We got a fucking quota run here.
Yeah, we got hour and a half. That's as much as I can deal with you guys every 2 weeks. Come on, let's go.
So you guys are familiar with Parasite, right? It won the Oscar for Best Picture.
Tangentially.
And the entire internet fucking lost its goddamn mind.
Well, okay, but here's my problem, Mike. Korean culture is already eating up American media. Like, Psy made the most popular YouTube video of all time with Gangnam Style. BTS is stealing our girls. There's no more white girls for me, Mike. I can't get a white wife because they all want to fuck Korean twinks. And now, in my white Oscars, when Joker is supposed to win, Joker is supposed to win. It talks about the haves and the have-nots. It talks about being a minority, Mike. Mike, the haves and the have-nots are in the Joker, and it didn't win the award, Mike. Mike, it needs to win the award.
And scene.
So I didn't watch Parasite yet because I have no money, and I literally have $5 to my name. I've been waiting on that tax refund, boys. Ooh. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I did decide to watch Park. I don't remember his name.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recreation?
Something. Yeah, Parks and Recreation, that's his name. I decided to watch his other movie, his last one that's on Netflix called Snowpiercer. It's actually like...
Is that the one where they eat the roaches?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that one. And it's got that really long train fight scene in the caboose, like where they're just like brawling. Yeah, I love that movie.
That movie's fantastic.
Wait, that was made by the same guy who did Parasite?
Yeah.
Why the hell did he do Parasite, dude? Like, he was really great at choreography. Like, why make a drama?
Because it's good.
Wait.
No, dramas are trash.
Excuse you.
Joker's a drama.
Snowpiercer is a drama. Snowpiercer is literally about a micro-society oh my god.
No, it's not. It's an action comedy.
No, fuck you. Fuck you, Snowpiercer.
It's an action comedy.
Snowpiercer is literally about how an upper class is fucking, like, holding down a lower class.
It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with a bunch of people would be freezing to death if Jeff Bezos didn't take them in and put them on their train.
Yeah. You nailed it.
It's also about how the fucking
these
fellow
ungrateful
poor people can conspire with the upper class in order to keep them down. I hate you so much. Anyway,
it is nothing like that, Mike. You are projecting your feelings onto a comedy action film.
The leader of the poor people at the back of the train was conspiring with the leader of the fucking rich people at the front of the train the entire time. What movie do you want?
That's economics, Mike. Learn basic economics and eat the bugs.
So I watched that movie and it was really good. And it got me, it reminded me that there are a whole bunch of Korean movies that I haven't watched yet.
Okay.
I tried to find out where they were, and I couldn't find them anywhere. And then I remembered the Super Best Friend cast. Oh, sorry. Formerly Super Best Friend cast. The Super Beast cast had a thing where they, Shudder had partnered with them, and if you use their promo code, you can get an entire month of Shudder for free. And as it turns out, 4 movies were on Shudder that I've been wanting to watch.
What's even Shudder? Like, I'm kind of curious.
It's like a Netflix for horror movies, I think.
Yes.
Shutterfly.
It's really good, actually.
See our stunning new collection of cards, photos, books, and more.
Not Shutterfly.
Okay,
It's Shutter with
see
D's, I think. No, yeah, D's.
Okay, Shudder, 2008, directed by Miyazaki Ochai, with Joshua Jackson, Rachel Taylor, James Kyson, Megumi Okini.
No.
A newly married couple discovers disturbing ghostly images and photographs they develop.
Literally, if you Google Shudder, it comes up. You're just lying.
I'm literally Googling Shudder!
With D's?
Oh, Shudder, classic horror, free trial.
There you go.
I don't know, man, but I could get my face on this coffee thermos, so, like, who's really winning here?
So, yeah, I watched, The Wailing. That was the next movie in my Korean escapade that I watched. Have either of you probably neither of you have watched this movie.
Nope, I'm not a big movie guy. You know this.
Yeah.
Man, I really need to get into Shudder, because, like, I love campy horror films.
Oh, dude, Shudder is filled with it, dude. It's awesome, actually.
Now, let me clarify here.
And it's only like $4 a month.
We're sponsored now.
Let me clarify here. I'm not one of those basic white chicks who put like black eyeliner over their lips, who's like, oh my gosh, I love serial killer documentaries on Netflix. No. Like, legit, my first R-rated movie was Starship Troopers. Like, I'm in it, waist deep, like, love
Is that a
me,
horror movie?
real good horror.
Downtown.
It's not like more like a campy action movie.
When you're 8 years old, Starship Troopers is taught.
That's
like,
valid.
it starts with a dude getting cut in half.
That's valid.
Yeah, but when I was 8 years old, The Nightmare Before Christmas was a horror movie.
It still is. That duck haunts me to this day.
You're talking about the doctor, aren't you? He's fucking
No, the
creeps me out
duck.
too.
The duck. No, the doctor just feels homely to me because I'm German and he's great.
He fucking
Remember that
creeps me
seal
out.
from Pingu?
Yes! I never watched Pingu.
I watched the
remember
shit
that
out of
seal.
Pingu.
It's so weird. It's Anyway, The Wailing. The Wailing is such a fucking weird movie. Because it's basically about this Korean guy. Because like I said, all these movies are fucking Korean. He's a police officer. And he's in the small community. And people are being turned into weird, violent zombies. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And the entire community blames it on the new Japanese person who moved into the area recently. And it's a movie about, everyone's being racist against this Japanese guy, and that's fucked up. And then, like, at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, the Japanese guy isn't doing it at all. We were all bigots the whole time.
See, I kind of hate that.
Wait.
Okay.
And then the next twist is that no, the Japanese man was literally Satan with cloven hooves and everything.
Oh man, that's like the Vavitch.
It's so, I hated it. I was like,
No, that's amazing. Like, that's a great double twist.
Moth, you need to understand, that last twist is like in the last minute of the movie.
No, that's
out of
amazing.
nowhere.
I love that twist. That's a great twist.
Earlier in the movie, he was running for his life, bleeding, and he fucking falls off a cliff and dies.
Yeah, Satan will do anything to convince you that, like, he's not the devil. Like, this is great. I love this. That's an amazing twist.
It's so fucking, it's a good movie until that part, and you'll
No,
probably
that
love
sounds
it
like that sells it at the end.
So
That's
after I
like-
watched The Wailing, which is a movie I did want to see for a while, I then decided, you know what? I should watch a trilogy of films that...
Wait. Have we spent the last 10 minutes talking about boring crap, so now we can get to what you want to talk about?
I needed to run you through what I watched.
Okay,
Now I've got to
alright.
talk about the fucking centerpiece.
Centerpiece.
Okay, I know neither of you have watched, the main, like, the bookends to the trilogy, but have either of you seen a movie called Old Boy?
I've heard of it.
Which one?
The Korean one, you jackass.
Okay, well, there was another one with, like, Liam Neeson.
Yes, but I'm talking about Korean films.
You're talking about the one where he eats the octopus live, even though he was a vegetarian when he filmed that scene, and how that dude managed to stomach it was beyond me.
Oh yeah. It's oh man, that fucking movie's so good. But yeah, so there's a trilogy of these films, and basically the idea of the trilogy is they're movies about revenge and about like how fucked up revenge is. Except
There
for
is
the last one.
absolutely nothing wrong with revenge. I'm just gonna put that out there right now.
So the
Once
first movie
again,
in the trilogy.
Not liking revenge is liberal propaganda.
Revenge, like, from Minecraft?
Sympathy
'Cause you're
for
right.
Mr. Vengeance. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is the first movie in the trilogy, and it's the hardest one to fucking watch.
Now, when
it's
you're
about
saying hard to watch, are you talking like hard to watch in the same way that like Hostel's hard to watch, or hard to watch in the same way that Midsummer's hard to watch?
Yes.
Okay, like
Actually, and I'm not saying, I'm not like, there's no yes, both of those.
okay, because Hostel's hard to watch because you literally watch a dude get his Achilles heel snapped.
There's a scene in, there's scenes in all these movies where shit like that fucking happens. Oh, fuck, I'm trying to, like, what's the best example? The first movie in the trilogy is genuinely, completely and utterly fucked up. It destroyed me emotionally for, like, I've been, like, sad posting for a while now, and it's because I watched that first movie.
Did
Like,
you sad post because you sad post?
Yeah, but, like, I usually keep it to myself. After I watched that movie, I was legitimately drained emotionally. It's so fucked up. Like, it's about a deaf guy who gets, a deaf mute guy whose sister has pancreatic cancer, and she needs a pancreas, or not a pancreas, it's a kidney, actually. She has kidney cancer. And she needs a kidney. So he decides that he will trade his kidney and $10,000 for a kidney for her. And in so doing, he gets fired from his job. He loses his ability to make money. But he gets the kidney for her. And then the doctor's like, All right, and the operation is going to be $10,000, and he just spent the last of his fucking money to get the kidney.
Right.
Turns out the entire thing was a fucking scam. Then he decides, well, how am I going to make money? And his communist girlfriend is like, hey, what if we kidnap your boss's daughter and use her for ransom money? And then they do that. And it just keeps fucking going from there. So his sister finds out that this little girl that's been staying with them was kidnapped. And so she's like, oh, this is kidnapped so you get money from me? Well, please send her back. And then she fucking kills herself. And he decides, well, I have to go bury her where I always said I would bury her, next to the river we grew up at. And he takes her and the little girl with him to go do it. And the little girl gets out to go look for him while he's burying her, and she falls into that river and drowns to death. And then the fucking and they had no plans to kill her. They treated her like their own daughter. And then you just see her lifeless body in the fucking river. It's so fucking genuinely awful. And and then at this point, an hour into the movie, the actual main character is revealed, and it's the fucking father, and he now has to go on a journey of revenge to track them down and torture them for ruining his life. But also, while they're doing that, the deaf mute guy is tracking down the people that stole his kidney and basically like caused this whole like. You've heard of like the phrase a comedy of errors, right? This entire
movie, podcast.
This fucking movie is a tragedy of errors, because every single thing that happens in Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm trying to think of a movie where that happened, where it's just a train wreck every step of the way.
And every single fucking character gets it. Like, all of them. There's no one survives. It's
actually,
so, like,
you know what? I kind of want to watch this movie now, because it sounds like so good.
No, it is I love this movie. Like, it affected me, like, it made me, like, filled with dread, but I enjoyed the entire watch. Like, it's so fucking good.
I think I've only had one thing that's emotionally destroyed me in, like, my entire life that was a film. And not even a film, it was, like, I've been reading Hyperion, like, the Hyperion series lately. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's 6 chapters, but each chapter is, like, 4 hours long. And, like, after the end of the 4th chapter, I kind of just curled up into a ball, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm driving. And so, like, I pulled off to the side of the road, and was like, damn, that just messed me up.
So then,
go
after that one, there's Old Boy, which
everybody knows, so we can skip it.
Old Boy is fantastic. Like, it's genuinely great. After that, it goes... the last fucking movie in the Vengeance trilogy...
Snowpiercer.
No, it's a movie called Lady Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucking weird. Okay, so the first half of the movie is like a Kill Bill style montage of this woman who was wrongfully put in prison, who gets out like 13 years later and like arranges inmates she was in prison with to like do a heist where they like kidnap the guy who put her in prison. And then the last half of the movie is this guy who put her in, who like wrongfully had her put in prison. What he does is he kidnaps people. Like there's story elements that fit with the original Mr. Vengeance. This guy kidnaps kids for ransom money, but instead of sending them back like they wanted to do in the first movie, he just like kills them and dumps their bodies somewhere once he gets the money. It's really fucked up. And he's done this with countless families. And just this one time that he was caught, he used her as a scapegoat, so she went to prison. So the last half of the movie is she gathers up every single family that he has like ruined to get money. And the whole reason he was trying to get money is just so that he could fucking buy a yacht. Like it's really fucked up.
Oh, I love that. That's so good.
And the last half of the movie is them torturing him. But there's no like moral. It's not a bad movie. It's just kind of all over the place. There's no like moral message or anything like the other two. It has like really good cinematography, but like if you were going to watch these movies, you could probably skip Lady Vengeance unless you just want to see.
See, that sounds like the one I want to start with.
It's not a bad movie. I don't know. It's the most boring of the three, though. That's the thing. There's a lot of just like characters talking, and then flashback scenes. A lot of flashback scenes, and then also a lot of talk about like wanting to fuck the main girl. I mean, yeah, she's pretty hot, but like everyone wants to fuck her.
So it's really kind of like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo style?
Yeah, actually. Pretty similar to that.
Alright, well, now this has been the We Hate Anime podcast, and we're going to take it over to you, Frog.
Huh? Yeah, podcast is over. Now, Frog, tell us more about stuff on the podcast.
Damn. You got me,
well,
dude.
no, it's Frog has been out of the conversation.
I have nothing to say,
minutes.
bro. Like,
Frog,
sure
talk about netcode.
Frog. Yeah, tell us about netcode.
Netcode. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, this is like something that everyone's already heard about, if you know anything about fighting games. So it's not really super... I'm not breaking any
new spaghetti code.
Netcode. Spaghetti code is something completely different. It's just this is bad coding, usually, is what that refers to. But netcode is specifically like like the code that people are using in their games in order to connect people to online matches.
Okay.
That's every online game has it. It's just some kind of netcode. And what it boils down to for fighting games is there's two kinds of netcode that are dominant, right? There's two major kinds. There's delay-based netcode and rollback netcode. So delay-based is what it sounds like, right?
Okay.
When you play, the delay you have between between like you and the other player, peer to peer, based on distance and like internet speed, the game will just try and be that many frames slower for you. So you can have a 5-frame delay on a game, and every input you do will come out 5 frames later than it would if you had no frames. So that's delay based. And that can be a big problem for people with bad internet, because their internet can fluctuate up and down with Wi-Fi. It'll like be really weird and wonky. From large distances, it makes it really impossible to play with some people. What,
you're going to tell me you can't play with 16 frames?
With 16 frames of delay, I would want to kill myself.
I want to kill myself with no frames.
Look, man, the average human eye can only see 12
That's not
frames.
What that means.
So what are you doing, man?
This is not the same thing.
I hate that.
No, you can only see 12 frames. So like why is 16 a problem if 12
Actually, it's more like 70.
Interpolated anime is the best way to watch it.
Anywho, what was I saying? Shit. So yeah, but like from a long distance away, you can get a big frame delay. Like if you try to play someone overseas with delay-based netcode, it can really be funky, and that's no good. The other, it's good for people who are very close to each other though. And people like I play with some friends in the like more northern U.S. and people in Canada, pretty well with delay-based games. And the other big one, which is hopefully going to be making more of a surge, I guess, in more games, is called rollback. And can you guess what that means? Can you just guess what rollback actually means?
I actually don't know.
No, like I'm kind of curious. Let me know what is rollback.
Okay, so that's fine. Rollback basically is a smart netcode thing that makes it so the engine or the server or whatever. I'm not sure if it's the server. I think it's still peer to peer, but the game will predict your inputs in order to kind of make the connection faster. So it'll like say like, oh, he's probably going to do this here, and if he doesn't, we'll roll back the game a couple frames to correct it.
Okay.
So when that's implemented poorly with a bad prediction,
won't that cause like stuttering though?
That's the thing. When it's implemented poorly with a bad prediction algorithm, it can cause a lot of stuttering and fuckiness. You know this because if you've played Street Fighter V, it runs on bad rollback netcode.
Street Fighter V is a bad game. Any game where you can spam block is going to be a bad
fucking
game.
Spamming block, such a funny meme. Anyway, so yeah, but like that game has pretty bad rollback netcode. If it's kind of has similar problems to delay based. If you're not close enough, it's going to be a big problem. So it's effectively a bad use of rollback because it doesn't really make it any easier to play with people who are far away, which is kind of the whole appeal of rollback netcode in the first place. A good rollback netcode game, Skullgirls. Everyone knows Skullgirls, right?
Skullgirls!
Skullgirls is the game that won't go away, no matter how many times I want to forget about it. But suddenly I get Big Band playing Cruel Angel's Thesis on my YouTube recommended.
Yeah.
Surprise, fucking Moth hates the game that's filled with lots of women.
Skullgirls is fantastic.
I feel bad beating women.
Anyway, Holy Roll is a fantastic game.
I feel good.
Yeah, same. Love beating me some women. Anyway, fantastic game. I can't play it for shit because it's really hard, but it's a fantastic game. And I've played with people from, like, my friend from Brazil, and we get fantastic connection in that game. It doesn't need to be close at all. But if I open up Eunice, my favorite fighting game, with my friend, the same friend, we get like 10 frames of delay, and it's virtually unplayable. You know, hearing all this, right, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, why don't developers just kind of switch to rollback netcode? It seems like the obvious choice. And you'd think that, right?
It would make sense.
It would make sense. I'm sure every, like, person who's listening to this who actually plays fighting games is just kind of bored to death at this topic, but for anyone who hasn't, I guess this is important to say. So,
well, you got to realize, like, there are two types of people on this planet. There are people who play fighting games, and there's literally everyone else on the planet.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it is as much of a niche demographic as all the Pathfinder guys who are like, "Hey guys, I know D&D's fun, and you guys are having fun enjoying yourselves, but you should play Pathfinder. Hey, stop having fun and play this convoluted 3.5 abomination."
I mean, to be fair, the races in Pathfinder are a little bit more interesting.
I mean,
oh
it's
yeah,
not,
you
it's
know,
not
like
incorrect to be fair.
You can literally create a Tengu, you know, like the Japanese, the owl people.
Owl people.
That's not what a Tengu is.
I was gonna say. Anyway.
Anywho.
Point being, you'd think that would be the obvious choice, but still, you see a lot of games, mostly from Japanese developers, Japanese fighting games, come out with delay-based netcode. And
there's this like concept. I don't remember what it's called. I heard it on the Super Beast cast, and it's like the basically, if they didn't make it, if they didn't invent it, they aren't going to use it, even if it would be a fantastic tool for them.
That's like some people's theory on it. Yeah, that's like not even an invalid theory either. The thing I hear the most is because in Japan, internet quality tends to be very, very good. It's like very fast. And most Japanese
they
players
don't need to use it.
Yeah, and most Japanese players just tend to play people who are also in Japan. So it ends up being very fast netcode. Even on delay based, it's just fine. So they end up not really caring. And when all the Western players complain about it, they end up not really paying attention. It's I don't know.
Frustrating.
Like, it's frustrating, right? Because like, especially because like internet in the West is a lot spottier, usually, right? I'm lucky to have actually really good internet in my town, but I know in like some place like
because you like live in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah,
he lives inside of the ocean.
Yeah,
in Atlantis.
Yes, Atlantis. Yes. Atlantis is great internet, but like places like I don't know, Milwaukee probably don't have the best internet, right?
Actually, Milwaukee probably has fine internet. Any city that's large enough has okay.
I don't
internet.
know what cities, okay, but any like city.
No. The moment Comcast is the only name in town. Like
anyone that lives there in Waldenburg, Arkansas, they probably ain't got good internet.
Sure, like they'll have a lot of trouble playing the game. Also, if you play on Wi-Fi, die and get an Ethernet cable. But that's the point. Point being, like many like
being
Western
death
developers
to red bars.
Yes, but like many Western developers have used like rollback in many terms. There's like actually like a licensed one called GGPO, which is a pre-made system you can actually implement into your game for free. Like you just have to like code it to work with the GGPO system. And a lot of devs have used that before. I think it's used in Them's Fighting Herds, which is like a My Little Pony fan fighting game. Well, at least it was.
Which is the best fighting game on the planet.
It's actually
it's still around.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. It's still around, but it's not an MLP fighting game anymore. Now it's its own like original thing because they got like a DMCA or something.
Well, yeah, but then Lauren Faust went to them with like apparently concepts that never made it into the show, and she's like, "You can have these."
Yeah. It's actually awesome. Great game. I will never play it. It's got 9-frame overheads. I don't want to deal with that. But yeah.
What is 9-frame overhangs?
Overheads. Well, you play fighting games, I thought.
Yeah, but I only play good ones like Mortal Kombat that doesn't have any problems.
That's still it's a thing in Mortal Kombat, I'm sure. I mean, not 9 frames, but overheads as a concept.
Hey, this bitch needs a block button.
Look, all I'm saying is, why have block buttons when you can just counter your opponent? Like, I play Tekken, and my fighter doesn't need to block because he can just duck and weave. Just saying.
Based, that's what Rivals of Aether is basically. There's only you don't have a shield, you just have a parry. It's sick.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm based.
I'm sorry, block spammers. They don't deserve to live.
Block spamming is so funny. But
fighting games seem really interesting. If only there was like some kind of resource we could use that would teach us the basics of fighting games.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, man. It's the Super Slam Sisters.
What?
Yeah, I'll fucking slam Dale sisters. Hey,
You got the pussy, Tony.
Rockabadoo.
What?
Tell me about your fucking video, you coward.
Yeah, tell me about your video that you're working on.
Oh yeah, we talked this last week, didn't we? Didn't we mention it?
Y'all did, and very briefly, but I know you've gotten further ahead.
I have gotten further ahead. I think at the time I had only made about 2 minutes of the video. I'm now at about almost 7 minutes. 6 minutes 45 seconds ish.
Why is Shovel Knight in this game?
Rivals? Because it's sick. Yo, I'm gonna show
Dude,
Rivals real quick. Play Rivals of Ether if you like
is
Smash.
Fucking Steven Universe in Rivals?
It's not.
Yeah, he is. Crag is in Rivals though, and he's pretty great.
Crag is awesome. Anyway, play Rivals of Ether if you like games that are good. And if you're tired of Smash being for little piss babies. Anyway, yeah, making a video about fighting games and about like how because I know it's gonna be hard for new players to kind of learn concepts in fighting games. So I thought I'd try to make something that's like helpful for that, I guess.
Hey, Frog, why should I listen to your video when I can watch Shroud's video or Donkey's video on fighting games or that other guy Sky?
I don't think any of those guys have made fighting game videos other than just like I know Donkey's made some fighting game videos that are just kind of like little funny montages though.
What about Sky? I could watch Sky's fighting game video.
Sky does Minecraft or Sky Williams?
Sky Williams.
I don't think he's made one either.
I love you, Sky. Please make Williams, you black bastard.
I like Sky. Sky's funny.
Wow, are we just gonna cut that?
No,
I love Sky.
Why would I cut that? I love Sky.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Shut the fuck up, you white.
Yeah, there we go. Like Sky's got plenty of things you can describe him as. He's like the only rational Smash player.
Okay,
Donkey's friend.
Sky, please make a video, you gay bastard. How about that one?
That sounds much
gay.
better. That is way less prejudiced.
It's the same. They're both descriptive.
We Hate Politics podcast. I too am making a video.
Yeah.
And it's I'm finally, I'm trying to make a video around maybe I'll get around to making one a month. Probably not, because fuck being consistent.
Well, the fact that we've managed to be consistent with this podcast is just, I don't even know.
Yeah, especially since I'm doing all the work. Fuck, I'm lazy.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I would do the podcast, and I would do the video editing and all that, but you won't give me the password to your, stupid ass YouTube account.
I mean, you can send him the video and then he can upload it himself.
Yeah.
That's what I did for my stream highlight thing that he did, which ended up ass just because the audio was so bad. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I had to do... If you watched that stream highlight, I'm sorry. You got to see a side of me that no one should see, but you probably didn't get to hear it.
Yeah, no, Mike was super quiet. Even though on my end, like during the stream, I could hear him just fine, the stream did not pick it up very well. That's on me. Anyway, sorry.
I really wish I would have recorded myself, but Enzo probably didn't have audacity to record himself, so I didn't feel like...
He probably does,
going through all
but
the
it's
effort.
okay, don't worry about it.
But anyway, yeah, I'm making a video. It's going to be on Darling in the Franxx.
More like dating all the cucks.
More like,
You got him,
I hate
dude.
this show. I hate this show. I hate this show. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it
How
so
can a
much.
show about having sex with a velociraptor be so bad?
What?
If at any point, well, the Klaxosaurs are themed after dinosaurs, and the Franks are actually made of Klaxosaurus corpses. Oh fuck! I hate. There's a fuck. I hate. The whole episode.
It's just Beast Wars with more cucking.
The whole video I'm doing, it's over the fucking 23rd episode of the show, and there's like so much fucking that's the episode where it just goes to complete and utter like bullshit. Like fuck, there's the Franks, which are terrestrial, like they're on Earth and they're fighting, but like in like that section of the fucking show, they go off into space for no good like fantastic reason, and the Franks somehow have, like, space versions, but, like, the guy who made Franks at that point was dead, so either this guy made space Franks before they went to space, which would make no sense, because why would he make space Franks when they didn't have spaceships? Because they could have just escaped Earth that way instead of, like, whatever. The only other, like thing that could have happened is that the Klaxosaurs made space Franks after these characters' terrestrial Franks. But that makes no sense, because how would they know how to make a Franks? And also, Franks are made out of their corpses. So why would they... I need to breathe. The show hurts me.
I never watched that show. I was gonna watch it because I was excited for a Trigger show, and I just never started.
Can I talk about something that I hate now, Mike? That I hate?
Is it Kona Soup?
No.
Is it liberals?
No, it's even worse somehow. No,
Darn.
This is a no politics podcast. I've been trying to just mock everything.
So what is it that you hate?
It is glitch text.
What?
What is that?
All right, so for everyone who doesn't know, it's on Netflix, and it's this weird thing where even though being their own broadcasting company, Nickelodeon has been dumping IPs and animation budgets into Netflix for some reason. Like,
yeah, they've teamed up with Netflix. Yeah.
Did Nickelodeon die? Like, are they no longer a channel?
No, they're still a channel, but like they're just funding stuff for Netflix. I'm sure they're partnering with Netflix to stay alive and stay relevant.
Well, that's fair, because Adult Swim had to put out children's television and become Cartoon Network. Disney had to consume everybody, so this makes sense. But yeah, so it's a show on Netflix called Glitch Text, and the premise of the show is like borderline Danny Phantom meets Reboot.
Sounds sick.
And
yeah, kind of, actually, yeah.
The premise is... basically, a company produced a game console that apparently occasionally glitches while they're playing their game. And apparently, they made their game consoles with nuclear reactors.
What?
Because every time it glitches, an entire city block gets leveled by holograms that come up and, like, blow things up.
Yeah.
And so the characters... The problem is, I couldn't even finish the first episode. And maybe it's like Stars versus the Forces of Evil, where it gets better after the first bit. But it was so painful. I suffered.
I watched the first episode, and I almost loved it. I really liked it.
Well, here's my problem with it, because I'm a huge-time gamer. Like, I don't
Gamer
say that in, like,
time.
the whole, like, I play Fortnite.
Look out, guys, we got a gamer over here.
Yeah, no,
Dude.
I've been playing video games since freaking Mario on the Game Boy. Like, the actual Mario Land.
The main antagonist of the first episode is literally Indian Ninja.
I thought he was black.
I'm pretty sure he's coded Indian, but, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell for sure.
All I know is he's gay.
Doesn't he have the same color hair as Ninja too? He's just Ninja.
That's funny.
Wait, are we talking about the guy who, like, tried to cheat to win after he lost in the Mayan game?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let me, like, here's my problem. We're in a world where a lot of more millennials, my age group, who know what video games are, who know, like, what anime and stuff is, are allowed to make content. That's how we got Rebecca Sugar doing Steven Universe. We got Pendleton Ward. Like, those were all millennials. They knew what they were doing. They know what they're talking about.
I'm really glad that millennials were finally allowed to make content once gamers got rights.
Yep.
Yeah, right? Just let me expound, all right? So it's
sorry,
so
that
weird
joke
to
was
me
sitting
that
there and I had to say it. I'm sorry.
with the largest gaming demographic on the planet making a show, their understanding of video games is so far off, it's not even funny.
All right.
You can't pause online games. What the fuck?
No, you didn't watch it, Frog, but go ahead.
I definitely didn't watch it.
Counterpoint, this is literally a show for children.
Sure, but even a child should feel offended that, like, the detachment from reality about these shows. Like, the only game... They had two games that actually felt like games, and one was when the Asian girl was playing a rhythm game, Guitar Hero style, and the other was when that guy was reliving, like, fighting game PTSD. Everything else felt like, I don't understand what a video game is, but I'm pretty sure people commit hate crimes on them. Like, it was just...
That's true.
It was... Nobody on the planet plays a first-person shooter VR competitively.
What?
Like, even
VR?
Pavlov
I mean,
VR
it's
is
a future
joke.
thing.
Yeah,
sure.
It's not doesn't take place like in the fucking 2020. It's like futuristic.
It's just the idea of the video games they were portraying, like they actually were just insulting. Like, do you actually think gamers are dumb enough to play something like this? This doesn't seem fun.
Like what?
This isn't entertaining. You're mixing the point system of the 1980s arcade games with modern day shooting elements. On top of that, puzzle platforming in a competitive game. Like, they just mishmashed everything that a bunch of boardroom executives high on cocaine think a video game is, and a bunch of millennials went ahead with it and didn't make any altercations.
Okay, but another counterpoint. The show's for children.
Like I said, even as a kid, if I watched this, I would feel insulted. At least Reboot, which, 1995, took the games the kid was playing seriously. It was like, hey, this kid's playing...
No!
Yes, it did! Hey, this kid is playing a Daytona 500 game. Hey, this kid is playing a Submarine Seeker game. Like, those games felt relatively realistic to a low-budget PC game you could buy for $20 back in 1996.
The characters in glitch text are literally using like a super console with super VR, and you're complaining that like they're literally the game they are playing is fucking VR Fortnite.
Not even. It was like VR Battle Royale. It was like Cuisine Royale.
That's what I just said.
No, you said Fortnite. When I think Fortnite, I think flossing and building buildings, like Lego with flossing.
Lego with flossing is kind of funny.
Lego with flossing.
But like
Lego, but awesome.
Okay, so here's
but on top of that, like,
every concession they made in that, like, that's not even like a big part of the fucking episode. Like, it's a tournament. Like, it literally exists to get the two main characters to meet and then team up. And it's less than like 5 minutes of the entire like 40-minute first episode.
Now I'm ready for the part where I get crucified here for what I'm about to say. But I felt the show was trying very, very hard to be diverse in a good way, and they missed the mark horribly.
Yeah, you're about to get crucified. Like,
I'm about to get crucified. Like,
the cast is incredibly diverse, but at no point does it feel forced. It just the main character's Mexican.
It doesn't feel forced. I don't think it feels forced at all.
What does this mean then? What does this
mean?
I
feel like they were trying so hard to create organic characters that they actually fell into racial stereotypes. Like, the Asian girl is introduced, and she's trendy, wears fashionable K-cutie clothes, and she's playing a rhythm game, and she's good at fighting games. Like,
okay, well, she's not trendy. She's literally supposed to be a fucking dork.
To be fair,
she's super fashionable, though. Like, here's the thing: I hang out with plenty of actual, like.
I mean, they could have just like wanted to give like the Asian girl like rhythm and fighting games because that's just like the biggest games in Japan is rhythm games, right? I mean, maybe they want Asian girls to kind of relate to it. I don't know. I can see what you're going for, but I haven't seen the show myself.
Like every Asian girl that I know that falls into like the whole like let's play these rhythm games, and these are people that I go to froyo shops with and play Jackbox Party Pack with on Saturdays. Because they rent out the entire froyo place to play Smash Brothers and Jackbox Party.
Sounds lit.
Like, they wear their favorite, like, Inuyasha t-shirt and, like, frumpy pajama pants.
Yeah.
Like, in public daily.
Dude,
like,
that's literally the type of clothes that Miko wears. What do you...
No, she doesn't. She was wearing, like, fashionable, like, almost that...
You just think she's fashionable because she got a fat ass.
I don't. I didn't find any of the character designs appealing except for the guy's grandparents.
Speaking of the guy, of any of the characters to, like, complain about potential racism, why are you not talking about the Mexican
work in a taco truck.
Yeah. Granted, it's a taco, it's a Mexican Asian fusion, which is, it's fair, but, like, that was kinda.
No, and it was really, it just, the way they depicted the characters almost felt less like people who actually interacted with the people that are these characters in real life, and more like a bunch of disconnected boardroom executives are like, we have to have diversity because that's popular now.
Also,
the last time I saw
half of the first episode.
No, I watched the first half. I watched more than that. I gave up, but I watched more than that.
I watched the first half.
You got
of
to
most
the
of
tournament,
the
and you didn't finish the tournament. So.
No, I got through the tournament, and I got to the part where they all got their minds wiped, and I got to the part where Kimiko, or whatever her name is talking to the main character, and he's like, no, I've been brainwashed. I'm an idiot.
So I like glitch text. I think the big issue with glitch text is that it has the cringiest sense of humor. Like, it's constantly making fucking video game references as jokes. Like,
but
oh man, we're gonna level up! It's like, No. Referencing a game that's fine. Like, Gravity Falls did that. That's fine. Make up your own games and world because obviously you can't use licenses.
But Gravity Falls was perfect in every way. And how could they not use licenses? Disney owns everything.
It's true.
But glitch text, specifically I'm talking about shit like, oh man, we're gonna level up, and it's like every single time I hear that I'm cringing, and then I have to remind myself something that I tried to remind you. This show is for children.
I mean, that doesn't mean to exempt from criticism, to be fair. Oh,
for sure. But the things that Moth is complaining, and even the thing I just complained about, they're very small to the.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
Demographic, like they aren't so distracting, like especially the fucking diversity thing. You fucking weirdo.
No, like that's the thing. I don't have an issue with diversity. My issue is that it doesn't feel like people who know the characters they're trying to create made these characters. It sounds like a bunch of like soulless boardroom executives designed these characters.
And I really enjoyed all the characters, especially Miko.
To be fair, that is a problem with a lot of shows.
Yeah, because you're just horny. Like, honestly, if you were getting laid, you would not care about her.
No, I think her personality is cute. She's a child. I cannot be horny for her. Speaking of being horny, let's talk about Promare.
Oh, that's a pretty horny movie.
Yeah, that's. Are we ending this?
What?
Are we ending this on Promare? Like this?
We can.
This was our last topic. So This is once again, Frog doesn't watch something when he's.
I
supposed
literally
to.
couldn't. What do you want from me?
There were tons of ways you could literally
Like
go
what?
on yeah.si and
there
download
weren't. There weren't. Like, the Blu-ray, he watched it the day after it came out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I watched it as soon as I could. Legally. Well, questionably.
Well, not legally.
Not legally.
But as soon as he could.
Yeah.
We got him a lending link, and me and him watched it. And, boy, let's just talk real quick about how not really gay the movie is.
No, it's not very gay. It's pretty horny.
In
but not very gay.
fact, it would be better if it was gay.
Arguably.
In fact, if you deleted the female, like,
the side
love
character?
interest,
That's not even a love
and
interest.
replaced her wholesale with Leo, and had
that would
just be a better movie.
I would actually like that. You're right.
I felt she was necessary for subversion purposes.
There's no subversion.
What was subverted?
No, it was everybody thought it was going to be like a standard heterosexual, like, dude gets the girl relationship.
Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere with it. It didn't like turn into something else.
Exactly. It completely subverted it because it was like, he doesn't end up with her. He ends up with Leo.
Something, you have to set it up.
They did. I mean, they absolutely set it up.
In that scene
Are
when
you
they're on the ice lake,
crack, Mike?
No, here's the thing. They set it up, but they didn't do anything with it. It wasn't subversion. It was just kind of dropping it.
Well, no, it wasn't dropping it. It was like, oh man, they've set it up so at the end of it, she's gonna confess to him. They're gonna end up together. But they never even
addressed
it.
No,
that doesn't happen.
Her character, like like you see her on the ice lake, and she's like, oh god, he's gonna kiss me. He drops her and goes and gets the fucking dick. And then you pretty much don't see her again until she talks to her sister. Like there's no like romantic tension between the character. There's no actual.
The only time it is that
set
scene.
up for their romance.
Yeah,
that's the only one, and it was played for a goof.
Granted, I should watch it again, but I think that they pretty much just drop that whole thread early on and don't do anything with it.
And I know the last time that fucking Moth saw it was when he saw it in theaters. So, like, I know he doesn't have a fresh memory.
What I think is... Well, I mean, it's not very gay. I wish it was more gay. Because honestly, I think if they did change it to Leo, it would have been kind of interesting to see. What if there was... What if the first time he got... First of all, spoilers for Promare. Now we should say it.
No, there should be no spoilers.
Yes, there should be. It just came out... Now. No, but it only came out on Blu-ray like a month ago.
It's only been out for like 6 months.
But on Blu-ray only like a month. So... spoilers for Promare going forward. Anyway, what if like when he got kidnapped by Leo for the first time, like in the cave? What if right then they had a weird like tension moment? That would have been that would have set things up for later. And because they didn't never
you could actually transplant because he goes to that cave and finds him.
Yeah.
You could just take
and that scene was right after the romantic scene with the girl, so you could pretty much just kind of just switch it around a little bit, and it would work pretty well. I think. Maybe during the radical torture scene. No, but maybe when these tie it up, they have one of those weird dommy mommy moments, and they just kind of do that thing. There you go.
No, like you guys are making the mistake. Like you do not get visual storytelling at all. You feel like it needs. It's to
not
be
visual
put
storytelling.
Right
it's just storytelling.
You feel like it needs to be put right in your face for you to understand.
One cinema term, one time, and suddenly everything is that term.
Look, here's the thing. You have no taste for subtlety. Like, you have absolutely no taste for the subtleness. Like, they have set up the fact that, like, hey, these two should end up together as a traditional storyline plot because that's what all the audience expects. We expect it. So in our mind, we are piecing this together and we are seeing the hints and we're going with it and rolling with it. It's like, oh, hey, Gallo is kind of stupid. He's not going to realize that she likes him, but then they're going to get together at the end, and then they subvert it.
Here's the thing,
and they do it very subtly, and then in the end, he ends up with him, and it's perfect subversion.
They didn't end up with together, though.
It was so subtle that it wasn't in the movie, you crazy.
Exactly.
It would have been
there it is. There is the subtlety that you need.
Here's the thing, it would have been a subversion if he did end up with Leo romantically in the end, because then it would have been a kind of...
He does end up with Leo romantically at the end. He gives him the Sleeping Beauty kiss of life.
Yes, and he does that because earlier in the movie, Leo transferred his heat into a character, and at that moment, he has heat inside of him, so he transfers it to Leo. He literally just does, like, that scene.
There
that
you
kiss
go,
is not
visual
romantic.
No,
storytelling.
it's a callback.
Yeah, that's another fucking cinema term that you should probably learn. It's fucking hate you so much.
All right, so give me
now everything's going to be
It's a parallel. There you go.
No, what's a callback?
Well, a callback is when you call back, when you reference an earlier part of the film or series to make a point.
With a different, not even to make a point. Just a callback is whenever you reference a previous scene with a different context.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so is a callback whenever Naruto thinks about the swing?
No, that's a flashback.
Yeah, that's a flashback.
What's the difference?
Because it's not in a different context. It's just the same swing.
No. That's showing the same thing. We're talking about having the same setup, but in a completely different scene.
If, for example, if Naruto was in Shippuden when he's all adult or whatever, was sitting on that same swing coincidentally in some different context, then it would be a callback. Or, not a callback. Yeah, callback. Yeah, sorry, callback.
Exactly. If he was sadly sitting on that swing.
That scene from Promare is not a callback, it's a flashback.
No, what? You're listening?
What are you talking about? What are you talking... The worms have hatched.
It's a completely different context than 100%. It's like...
It's a different scene!
Yeah. It's not even the same location or anything. Or the same character.
Well, then it's not a callback.
Then what is it?
It's visual storytelling.
Oh, okay.
This man thinks callback and flashback are the same thing, despite being explained explicitly that they're different.
No, I think it's more of like I think parallel is also a fine term for it because it's like
like a parallel is good. Like, hey, he kissed this guy. That means he's open to kissing other dudes, so I'll kiss him.
The person that he kissed at the beginning of the movie was a chick.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It was definitely a girl.
But okay, now I want to fucking... Can we please talk about Deus Ex Machina and how it was the coolest thing?
Oh, I love Deus Ex Machina. That was funny as hell. That was a fun.
Where they actually named the vehicle Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. The mech in the end by the guy who was a Deus Ex Machina is called Deus Ex Machina.
And also like whenever he's like, so when did you build this robot? He's like, fuck off.
Yeah, like don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's so perfect.
This movie is like barely written.
But in like a very fun way.
It is It is right up there with Redline as far as like enjoyable cinema goes.
No, I mean I haven't.
I
I truly should watch Redline. That's a crime on my part. But
And actually, in the movie, when Gallo's riding on his bike, that's a callback to Redline when the main character is riding on his bike.
cinematic parallels. That's not a parallel. That's just a coincidence.
So isn't it really cool when the Deus Ex Machina then becomes the Leo de Gallio and it's just Gurren Lagann?
It's just Gurren Lagann.
That's all the trigger does. Everything is a callback to previous works that they've created.
For the most part.
Holy shit, he just used callback correctly.
Yeah, actually.
Well, we should end the episode.
Cool on my head, boys. Let's get out of here.
All right, everybody.
I crawled out of the ditch.
No, I'm back, boys. But yeah, I think my favorite thing. I mean, other than the fact that like. Well, actually, no. First of all, not everything is a callback because I think the first like original feeling, like fully original feeling thing they made, despite being like an adaptation of Gridman, it was Gridman because that was actually didn't really.
Oh, that's not an adaptation. That was
a sequel or whatever,
series.
or like a follow up or something like that. It was not.
Yeah.
No, that was a parallel.
That barely had any. I mean, it had a couple little references here and there sprinkled in, but it was very much.
It had a shit ton of references. You just didn't know that.
Well, no, I mean to other trigger stuff. I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was kind of a cool change. Like they had like the Gynax kick and stuff and things like that. But
and the Gynax arm cross.
Yeah, the Gynax arm cross. That was all there.
That gives me a boner every single time I see it.
I love the kick. The kick's my favorite thing.
Oh,
I was kind of speaking of which, the kick in Promare is there, but it's a total bait and switch where they just kind of start. They do the pose and they land, and it's like super unimpactful. And it's
because they try and like fucking break through the hole of that ship as it's rising,
and it's just
fucking boof it.
Oh god, I was so hyped to see the Gynax. I was like, when's the Gynax kick coming up? And it came up, and it was the worst, and I was so angry, but it was funny.
All right.
See that's subverting expectations.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just like the fact that Leo and Gallio ended
but they
up
didn't.
Together.
They didn't.
They should have.
That's why I don't like.
I'm gonna tell you right now. My Pixiv
was...
account says they ended up together.
So does my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
I get it.
I would have been happier if there was actually some more implications that they went together in the end, because that would have been kind of interesting if they had set it up
100%.
earlier, prior, anyway. But they didn't.
You don't remember the part where Leo like kills Gallio and then turns into a girl and like stares at the stars with the rest of Gallio's upper torso?
I only remember the part
remember
where they punch the planet to pieces, and I mean, peace.
Dude. I love my favorite part of the fucking movie is the fucking we're gonna fucking set the world on fire, and that's like the rising action, like we're gonna burn you alive.
Guys,
with our
what do we
love.
do to stop the fire? Fire. Because friendship.
See, I felt that was more of a reference to trans rights right there.
I don't get it.
We've been the We Hate Anime podcast, the only podcast that really wish Moth would fucking die. I've been your host, English Mike. Moth is dead. Frog is alive. Please like and subscribe and comment. Your interactions makes the algorithm happy. Please leave a review on iTunes. Please download us. Please share us. Tell your boss about how you fucking want Moth to die. Please,
Now,
please kill Moth.
Mike, please do me one favor. If Raid Shadow Legends ever approaches us, do not take the sponsorship. I don't care how desperate we are.
Oh, you best believe I'm taking that sponsorship.
I will
bitch.
not. I will scream autistically into the entire audio clip while you're trying to plug like Raid.
Yeah, I'll give you the heads up so that in that case I would just do like a pre-roll and put it in the podcast.
I would find the pre-roll and I would edit the file to just me screaming, "Don't listen! It's a zeitgeist trick."
He would dark web my PC.
I would actually download Tor all over again just to have like a Tennessee hitman come to your house in Arkansas and just like break your computer.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter, please.
Actually, don't follow. If you follow me on Twitter, you're gonna have a bad time. If you follow Frog on Twitter, you'll have an okay time. If you follow Moth on Twitter, you'll slowly be driven insane.
I like Moth's Twitter. It's fun.
It's like the least offensive Twitter. Like, what are you talking
Twitter's not
about?
offensive.
Least offensive. Excuse you. Just today, I reached 150 followers. How many do you have, Moth?
It doesn't matter. I'm not offensive, and I don't plug to political bullcrap.
I'm not offensive either. I just think trans rights are human rights.
The only thing I've shared that like wasn't my own content in the last month is Alien Hominid gameplay trailer.
And the art you did, which got a like from the guy who made Alien Hominid.
Oh,
We're very
made me
proud
so
of you.
happy. So I retweeted
My
his
content is
stuff
all
because of
just frog videos and Asakusa drawings, so...
And Zoomer memes.
And a lot of
really
those.
Bad Zoomer
They're really
memes.
good Zoomer memes. You see the one about, Chungus Ball?